You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton, here hanging out with you guys. And today, we're going to jump right into it. We got returning guest and, another star of the show that is always on here to add value and help you guys grow a more successful lawn and landscape business. And that is none other than Kory Ballard of Perfect Cut and Ballard Innovative Products. Kory, welcome to the show, brother.
Glad to be here. It's been a little while, so glad to be back.
Absolutely, man. Well, checks in the mail. You finally, cashed the check, so we got you back on the show. I think we got to, pay you to get you on the show nowadays. You got a little feature here,
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm waiting for that check, but I always enjoy getting on, and I enjoy doing podcasts and talking to guys. And we do our own podcast, and I try to always, anytime I can jump on and talk about our industry and lawn care, man, I enjoy it, and it's good stuff.
Well, it's funny. By the way, the check in the mail, the mail's been pretty slow lately. You know what I mean? So just hang tight on that one. But that's funny right there.
If you're using USPS, it's about a 50-50 that even gets to me. If we ran our business like the post office, we'd be out of business. So that's we won't get into that too much. But we ship a lot through USPS. And then they do some bonkers stuff, and it's ran by our government, so we won't go into that. But it's not a very reliable system.
No, not at all. Well, it's funny. You and I we're actually pretty charged up. We were already kicking it for about 15 minutes, and Kory and I, we don't even catch up with hey, dude, how's the family? How's the wife? How's the kids? How's the dog? We're just like, dude, can you believe what's going on here? Man, this is awesome here. We just get going. And I said, Kory, hold on one second. I pull the e-brake. I go, hey, let me just hit record. Let's keep this conversation going, because we were getting into some of the stuff that I want to talk about on the show, which is hiring people, talking about investing in good people. What I've noticed out there, a lot of you guys listening to the show, your business is growing. Like, business is up, business is booming. 2020 was a tumultuous roller coaster of a year. But nonetheless, a lot of you guys still did pretty good. A lot of you guys are hiring your first, second, third guy. You're starting your second, third, fourth crew. And Kory is one of those guys who has built a multi-million-dollar business over in Des Moines, Iowa. He's got a really successful company. He also markets and sells the Ballard Innovative Products, so all the accessories that a lot of you guys put on your lawnmowers, on your trucks, on your trailers. So Kory's got this great perspective of being in the industry for 25 plus years. So if this is the first time you guys have listened to Kory, he is the who's in our industry, and I really do appreciate him and respect his time. So we're just going to jump right into it. So Kory, you got a few minutes here. You want to open it up, and we'll talk about employees, hiring, and how to get the best out of your people?
Yeah, absolutely. But I do want to say, just real quick, since we didn't talk about family, congratulations to you and Liz. You got a big addition coming, and you guys put that out there, and super excited about that. Just real quick, it was kind of funny. My wife said to me the other night, and Lindsay, and some of you guys, if you follow us on social media, see Lindsay on some of our posts and stuff. She goes, "Do you think Brian, things are going to change for Brian when they have this baby?" And I go, "Yeah, it will." And she goes, "You think he's going to be able to work as much or as hard?" And I said, Brian's going to work harder. I go, he's going to work harder. And I truly believe that. And I'm not blowing any smoke. I just tell you how I think. And I said, Brian's the kind of guy that, again, that is going to be a totally life-changing experience for you guys. And it's a miracle, and it's amazing. And it's such a unique thing when you look at this thing that you created. But I'm like, Brian's going to work harder, because there's this almost added drive and added responsibility. And then it's like, man, not only am I responsible for my wife, I have a family. I'm responsible for continuing to, do what we do, and what you do to the industry is great. And I just thought it was interesting. She goes, "Do you think he's going to work as hard?" And I go, "He's going to work harder." Now, you may have a few sleepless nights in there. You may not, but
sure.
I thought it was interesting. I'm like, because for me, anyways, the more purpose I had and the more responsibility I had, I use that as fuel to continue to say, hey, this is bigger than just me. I got another mouth to feed. And if you're going to have more, children down the road, it's like your purpose becomes different and bigger and better. And even something you said at the Entrepreneur Academy, it's just, it still stuck with me. Again, we're in this together. We win together. So again, I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for the what's coming. I have no doubt in my mind that you will be doing exactly what you do, and maybe even more. Maybe. I don't know how you'll find time, but you will. You'll find time.
I'll tell you this, and thank you, by the way. And what I'll say is, by the time this podcast comes out, people probably already know. But I'll tell you right now, we're shooting this about a month early before this gets released. But we're having a girl, Kory. So we're having a baby.
Really?
Yeah, I know dude, it's so crazy. I thought we were having a boy for sure. And so if you guys haven't watched on Fullerton Party 2, we dropped this whole video. Might have been out for a week or two by the time this episode comes out. But you'll see, Kory, in this video that we had the little confetti cannon. And so Liz and I recorded this whole experience. And so, I do the 3, 2, 1, and I twist it and it explodes, right? And you just see pink confetti come everywhere. And you just see my face go from like super excited to, oh shit. So I like the facial expressions of my jaw dropping are hilarious. And so I literally look at Liz. I went, we're having a girl. And she goes, and Liz wanted a girl. She wanted a boy or a girl, but I think she kind of low-key wanted a girl. And you just see my face go, oh no, like in a good way. And I haven't slept for about 2 weeks, bro. I'm fired up, ready to rock and roll. I just told Liz, I go, I need to make another 100,000 a year right now. And so
it is. It's a different drive, and girls are amazing. I've got 2 girls and 1 boy, and they're just uniquely different. And but it's so I wasn't sure when this was going to air, but I didn't realize you guys had announced. I thought maybe you were going to keep it a secret, but I knew you probably couldn't.
Yeah. Well, we haven't released it by the time this episode, you and I are recording, but by the time this comes out, we'll have all that pushed out there in about 3 weeks. So
awesome. Well, congrats again, and again, it was just funny because Lindsay goes, "You think he's going to work this hard?" And I'm like, absolutely. I think I threw a cuss word in there. I said absolutely. Because again, we're driven, and it's not like, oh, it had a baby, I'm going to kick it into neutral for a while, and
no,
that's not how we function. And you can be on the right track, but if you're not moving forward, you're still going to get ran over. So
that's right.
You got to keep the gas down. But yeah, let's get back to what we were talking about. But I just wanted to hit on that. I'm excited for you guys, and
thanks, man.
And you'll be more driven, and you'll have even another. I talk about what's your why. Why do we do what we do, and we work long hours, early mornings, and Sundays and Saturdays, and we all figure out what our why is. And yours will continue to change when you walk into that room and see this thing that you created and go, "Holy shit! I've got responsibility. I've got another responsibility that is an amazing responsibility, but it starts to make you think, man, I got a lot of I got a lot to do here. I got to be a role model and a provider and an inspiration, and and then I also got to navigate how do I make sure that I can give my wife and child adequate time and be present when I am with them, because it's easy for guys like us, or guys like me, I should speak for myself, that because I have a great wife, that she's got the kids handled, and I'll just go do the work and maybe put the food on the table. But the truth is, I got to be a part of that process as well, and be present, because before you know it, I've got a daughter who's going to be a senior. I don't even know what happened. She's just a little girl.
Sure.
Now she's going to be a senior and doesn't want to hang out with dad, and she just wants to hang out with her friends and dudes, and I ain't digging it.
Right. Well, hey, two things. One, I'll say I'm glad that I worked as hard as I did in the last 5 years, because I don't think you can paddle once the wave hits you. You got to paddle before the wave comes at you, And so I'm really glad that I kind of built my well a little bit before it hit, and I'm still building this thing like crazy. Both businesses, obviously, but number 2, hey, they say it takes a village to raise a baby, right? So we'll get you on the virtual diaper party, and so we're just having fun here, man. It's gonna be a great time, and we can't wait. Baby's due in July, and then we break ground in July on the home. It's gonna be a crazy summer. But well, let's do this. Let's get back to talking about employees and growing this thing. You and I were getting charged up, fired up, and talking about cost and employees and paying people good and finding good people and how to treat them well and all this kind of fun stuff. So let's do this. We got the bills to pay. We got to keep the lights on here. So we're gonna kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to bring you guys all the show announcements, updates, and highlights, and then we're gonna come right on back.
We are thrilled to have Kory on the show, certainly one of our favorite guests. His company, Ballard Products, sponsors many of these Fullerton Unfiltered episodes. He's been a guest speaker at Launchpreneur Academy Live. And have you seen this dream trailer that Ballard Incorporated is giving away? Man, it is a fully equipped trailer. It's valued at $19,000. And I'm pretty sure that I saw an Exmark Laser Z sitting on that trailer. Hey, are podcast producers eligible? We just appreciate how much they give back to our industry, and you can enter over at ballard-inc.com. And now, back to Brian Fullerton.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, let's just jump right back into it. I don't want to take too much of me talking. When we get a guest on the show, I love hearing what they have to say, of course. And so, Kory, when we were talking just a few minutes ago, before we hit record, you and I were talking about there's a lot of challenges in the economy today, the global economy, between manufacturing, distribution, supply chain. We were just talking about some different things that you guys are overcoming with the Ballard products because you guys have so much demand. And, you know, not only is there regular growth, but then there's supply chain bottlenecks. And so you guys are doing the best you can behind the scenes about that. But then also there's behind the scenes bottlenecks with, you know, having good talent out there and hiring good people and trying to pay people a good wage, a fair wage. But, you know, let's just, you know, call the elephant out in the room. You can't find good help nowadays for $8, $10, $12 an hour. So for somebody like you who's had, you know, a couple hundred employees and you know, you got two successful growing companies, what's your viewpoint on the whole landscape of the employment and finding good people out there right now? Is it easier? Is it harder? What are you guys coming up with?
Yeah, you know, we've been pretty fortunate, obviously, to continue to be kind of a pillar in our areas of a place where it's appealing. And if you do landscape and lawn care, we hope that you want to work for us. But it's still always a challenge. So we have every Tuesday, we have our strategy meetings, and we've really been talking about, you know, what is the correct going rate for employees today? You know, and we've raised the floor up, and we've been talking about, you know, what's the difference between a $12.50 an hour employee and a $14 and a $16 and maybe an $18 foreman. And I know each, you know, listener, maybe your region's a little bit different, so maybe the pay scale is a little bit different. But, you know, in our area alone, so we've got an Amazon distribution center, and they're paying $15 an hour to start guys, and the guys are running a forklift. So $15 an hour, full benefits, and you're sitting on a forklift all day with some, you know, a little bit of forklift training. And so we're trying to look at a couple different things of, you know, what are fast food places paying? What are manufacturing paying? What is going on in the economy around us? What are people paying? What types of jobs are those? And how do we have a strategic advantage, a competitive advantage to be appealing? Because the reality is, if you say, hey, I can sit on a forklift and make $15 an hour, or we'll pay you $15, but you're going to be on a mower or a landscape crew, and you're going to be digging holes, and you're going to be muddy, and it's hot and sweaty. And by the way, we work Saturdays. And so, you know, what can we do to continue to be a leader in our marketplace? And you know, and we've been really successful with this, and it's taken time to build a culture and really a structure that's appealing to people. But just like you, I talk to a lot of guys that are, you know, looking for that second guy, third guy. Hey, I want to add my second crew. You know, and this guy wants $17 an hour, and there's no way I can afford him. And I'm like, well, why can't you afford him? Well, you know, I really want to pay 14. And I'm like, okay, but you know, is that $17 an hour guy 25 or 30% more efficient than the $14 an hour guy? If so, you're money ahead. Is he going to take better care of your equipment? Is he going to be a safer driver? Is he a better example of your reputation in your company? You know, whether he's clean cut, respectable, can customers talk to him? You know, is he going to represent you in a positive way? So I think a lot of times, as you and I were talking before we got live here, is, you know, we get stuck on what does this guy cost me? And I think the reality has to be is, what do they bring to the table? Do they meet our core values? And we do something different than a lot of companies, and I talk a lot about this, is, you know, we ask a lot of different questions. I think a lot of guys that are really screwing this up, and I don't mean to be rude about it, but they throw these signs up and say, help wanted. Do you want help? Do you really want help, or do you want quality, great individuals. Our signs always say, looking for, incredible individuals, looking for motivated, candidates, looking for people wanting to grow with our company. We changed the wording. Help wanted. I mean, there's a guy on the corner down here I just passed with a sign. You can hire him and he might work for a day, but do you want help, or do you want high quality people that are going to buy into your core, buy into your mission, have good core ethics and values? So we've really spent a lot of time in our hiring and recruiting asking a lot of different questions. Who are you? What are your hobbies? What are your goals? Where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? Tell us about the last place you worked and what you liked and didn't like. I don't care about the experience. I think a lot of guys get caught up on, I'm looking for a mowing foreman, minimum 3 years experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've talked about this a little bit on a few other podcasts, but I will take a guy with 0 experience that meets all the other check boxes that says this guy is quality. He has all the other attributes that we need. He has 0 experience, because I can train experience. I can't train core values, trust, integrity. I can't train those things. So we had to really make a shift. And don't get me wrong, Brian, we have, through the years, I've hired guys on the spot. If you can walk in and tie your shoes and chew bubble gum, and at the same time, I'll throw you a T-shirt and you're on a crew, right? I mean,
right.
We've all done that. But when we slowed the process down and said, what type of individuals fit our company and our core values? Now, it's slower, I can tell you, and we may only hire 1 guy out of 10 that come in. But when we hire the right people, they stay, and turnover, hiring the wrong people costs a lot of money. It costs time and uniforms and training. And so, long answer here, but, I think it starts with guys sitting down and saying, if I were to hire 3 new guys, what am I looking for? And not what skills do I need? I don't need a guy that guarantees me he can build a retaining wall, and this guy guarantees he can build patios. Mm-hmm. What type of human being am I looking for, male or female? What type of human being am I looking for? And then, what if they fit those, then you can start figuring out, can we get them trained? Now, if they have some experience and they meet your core values, bam,
that's a multiplier.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. I mean, and then it brings us back to that guy wants $19 an hour. Well, I don't really want to pay 19. I want to pay $14.50. But he's worth it. He has the skill set that you said you needed. He has all the core values and trust and honesty and integrity, and he's going to be there on time, and he's going to have your back, and he's going to represent you well, and he's not going to tear up your equipment. Mm-hmm. So what does that cost you? And so I think it's a mindset, and that's a long answer to that, but it's a mindset. And when we changed our mindset, our retention rate is the best it's ever been, which has saved us a lot of money. The one thing I didn't realize it was going to save us is it saved us a ton of unemployment. I didn't realize. My CFO came to me and said, we've saved X dollars of unemployment because we've reduced our turnover rate so much that hiring the right people, I always thought we were saving time, we were saving uniforms, we were saving training, orientation.
Sure.
But there's a lot of back-end costs. So when you hire the wrong people, it costs you money.
Yeah.
Not only that, they can get injured on the job because they're just being careless. Maybe they're not trained properly. But then the next aspect of that is if you're hiring great people with 0 experience, what does your training system look like? Do you have somebody in your company? Maybe it's you as the owner. Maybe it's you have a good foreman. Do you have somebody? And we do in our company. We have designated people that we have met with them, and they are the person that all the new people go with. Whether it's a mowing or landscaping or lawn tech or irrigation tech or whatever department they go in, they always start with Joe. And Joe he's been with us X amount of years. He has the core values. He has the experience. And then when you start training, we train on the why and not the how. This is why we do it this way, not just how. People just want to show you. We'll just talk mowing. They just want to show you how to mow, right? You go around twice, you go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
We like to get into, this is how you do it, but this is why we do it. This is why we turn the way we turn. This is why we blow grass away from cars and mulch and houses and cars and people. This is how we go around tree rings, but this is why we do it, because it's going to tear the turf up. And then, so, a lot of different things have to happen there, but I'm hearing a lot of guys talking about hiring the right people, but not willing to pay the rates that are required to get quality people.
Yeah, that's good. That's really, really good. Well, one other thing that I wanted to pick your brain about for a few more minutes here. We're going to take a quick break and hear a little bit more from the show sponsors. But I want to ask you a follow-up question and go a little bit deeper on the topic you just did, which was the difference between that $14 an hour guy and the $19 an hour guy, and why, as business owners, we don't want to just look at costs. We want to look at return. And so you and I were getting charged up on that before we hit record. And I thought it was really insightful because, again, a lot of us, when we start a business, we usually come from an employee situation. And as an employee, we're always counting costs. We're always looking at, how much does something cost us? And that's a very different way, to a degree, about how we run a business, which is, yes, we have costs, but we need to look at return more importantly. So I want to go down that rabbit hole for just another quick minute here. So let's do this. Let's kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to bring you guys the exciting show updates and announcements. And then we're going to go a little bit more down the rabbit hole here with Kory Ballard.
Ballard Innovative Products is a full line of gear for the lawn and landscape professional. From mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, aerators, mower blades, X-blades, aluminum baggers, and much more to make you efficient, effective, safe, and profitable in the field. Check out Ballard-Inc.com to help dominate and elevate your business. Ballard Innovative Products. With over 20 years of selling accessories and 30 years in the business, we're sure that we've got something you can't live without. We appreciate the support and look forward to serving you this season. Stay safe and keep grinding, friends. And don't forget to use Brian's 10 to save 10% at Ballard-Inc.com.
Hey guys, Paul here from the Green Industry Podcast to remind you that when the water goes up, the boats go up. You're listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, let's just jump right back into it. We have a great guest with us here, Kory Ballard, owner of Perfect Cut over in Des Moines, Iowa. And they got some other locations and branches around the state and the country. And then also Ballard Innovative Products. A lot of you guys have been using the Brian's 10 code to purchase lawnmower blades, catch pros, all kinds of accessories, the super jack that can lift your mower jacks up to, change the blades from underneath if you don't have the little bulldog jack style on the front of your mower. So super appreciate the support. I know Kory does as well. Kory, I wanted to just piggyback on what we were just talking about and keep this conversation going. When you and I were talking before we hit record and we were just getting charged up, you and I were talking about how crazy the new normal wage is. And that's a good thing or bad thing. The reality is that it is what it is. But hiring somebody back in the day for $9, $10, $12 an hour, $15 an hour, the new normal is $16, $20, $25 an hour. And you have a bigger perspective than I do for sure, growing a much larger company. But you were talking and joking back in the day that you used to be able to get an office admin person for $30,000, and now that same person is double that cost, if not triple, for somebody who knows what they're doing. So can you talk a little bit more about that, what you've seen, and then also, paying somebody more who's excellent, how they can actually bring in a multiple return more than just the flunky new guy for $12 an hour who might only double his worth?
Right. I mean, yeah, that's just it goes back to what do you want out of your company, and how involved are you, and how much freedom do you want, and if you're going to hire those guys at the bottom of the food chain, I should say, the $12 an hour. If you're going to offer $12 an hour, you're going to turn and burn. You're going to go through guys left and right. They're not going to stay with you. They're not most likely going to be very high quality.
Mm-hmm.
If you get somebody at that lower range and they're an all-star, you better be very quick to bump them up and recognize talent. One of the things I think we've done a really good job at is recognizing talent. When we see it, we say, hey, this guy's an all-star. This guy's a stud. He's an A player.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got him a little bit less. Let's get him moved up immediately because we don't want to lose him. But, we've been playing this game a lot on, again, as I mentioned, with all these companies. 15 is kind of the new norm. And, And so we're looking at putting a floor into our company and saying everybody makes X at a minimum. And then what does a foreman make? What does a senior foreman make? And really try to work through, again, what value do they bring? And what, there's just a lot of risk. And I'd mentioned off the record before, I just said, what is peace of mind worth when you have great people that you don't have to babysit, whether you're working with them, maybe you've got your second crew, and that crew is out doing a high quality job, meeting your expectations, representing your company in the way it should be represented. If a customer comes out, you're not going to be like, oh my God, hope they didn't talk to Joe today. Oh my God,
Sure. We've all had that guy.
Yeah, hundreds of them. And so there's a lot of peace of mind with that. But it also goes back to, are you charging enough for your services? Because if your rates never change, but the continued labor rate goes up at $1, $2, $3 an hour, but you're not changing your rates, a couple things have to happen. So you got to make sure you're charging enough. But are you more efficient? I would believe, and we've done quite a bit of research with 2-man crews versus 3-man crews, qualified foreman versus non-qualified. I would argue with most people that a good $17 an hour guy, or 18, whatever number you want to use, is more than 20 or 30% more efficient than the guy at 15. So if you just get stuck on this, I can't afford 18. I can afford 15. But what if that $18 an hour guy produces 35, 40% more efficiency? You're not paying him more. You're actually paying him less.
Right.
So you really have to take a different mindset and not get pigeonholed into this. I pay $15 max. And so I say to people all the time, you pay 15 max. So you're telling me that if the perfect guy came in there that met every expectation you had, and he could be a foreman tomorrow, you wouldn't pay him 18? I can't afford it. And I'm like, oh, well, but you can. You actually can afford it, unless your prices are way out of whack. But he's going to be way better than the $15 an hour guy, and you're going to sleep better at night, and your quality, you're going to have less callbacks, and you're going to do less property damage. Hopefully he's better on equipment. He's going to be more responsible. He's probably going to be a better trainer for the secondary guy that goes with him. So hopefully you're building some bench strength. So there's just a lot of things to think about other than getting stuck on this. How much does he cost?
Right. Because as a business owner, Kory, we can't just look at the count of costs. We have to look at the return. In my opinion, like, again, if you have a $40,000 a year employee that brings in, $80,000 in revenue, well, that's a double or whatever, right? But if you have a $80,000 a year guy and he's a rock star, and whether he's in sales or, like you said, at admin, and he's saving money, making money, and he's bringing in $240, well, like, that guy tripled, his revenue that he's bringing in for the company per person. I think I learned that back from like Robert Kiyosaki in one of his books, like, pay good money for good people.
Yeah, it's all about return on investment. I'll use just a quick equipment example. We teamed up with Nick Carlson, and we've got the CartMate and CartMate Pro on our website, and we started doing some marketing for it. And guys were saying, no way I'm going to pay $1,000 for the RS. No way I'm going to pay $2,000 for this CartMate. That's just way too much money. So my last video, I just said, hey guys, I don't care what something costs. What I care about is what I get on my return on my investment. I care, what does that piece of equipment, I don't care that it costs $2,000. What does it do for my business? What does it do for my efficiency? All I hear you guys say is you can't find labor. So if this tool, whether it's the CartMate, a skid loader, a better mower, doesn't matter. If this tool increases your efficiency by double, whatever that number is, quit worrying about the fact that it costs $2,000 and start worrying about, oh my God, I can remulch my properties in half the time. I will get my return back in the first spring I use it.
Sure.
I think people, they get stuck on this. No way I'm paying $2,000 for a CartMate. And I'm like, everybody I know that's used one said they paid for it in the first month.
Right.
So what is the return on your investment? And I take that same philosophy with people that I do with equipment. I don't care what the piece of equipment costs. If you can tell me, we just bought another new boom truck and they're expensive, 60-foot boom. And my tree department laid out, here's how much work we have. Here's our backlog. Here's what we're charging per day, per week, per month. This is what we'll make on return. order the effing truck. I mean, it's simple math, right?
Right.
I don't care that the truck's 165. What I care about is what is my return on my investment. And that's the same philosophy with employees. I don't care if you make 15, 18. My best landscape crew, those guys make over $30 an hour. And I can tell you what, they do only our highest end jobs. They are unreal. They've been with us 15 years now, probably, maybe more. I could be wrong.
Sure.
And guys like, you can't pay a guy $30 an hour. I'm like, go watch this 3-man crew work for one day. You'd pay him $35 an hour because I don't care about the number. The fact of the matter is we can charge those guys out at $85 or $90 an hour because they are skilled. They're incredibly efficient. They're smart. They do. It's just, again, so it's about return. And guys they live in this world where they set a number in their head. And I was just telling you about an office person we're trying to hire. And somebody said, hey, we can get this person for 21. They're going to be amazing. And I said, do it.
Well, hold on. What did you want to pay him? Because you and I both struggle with this. We're not rock star superheroes, right? So you had this number in your mind. If you want to tell him, because you're.
Yeah, I was thinking 16, 17. It's just an order processor. It's an admin secondary, but the hours are kind of goofy. Noon to 8.
Sure.
We want our phones covered till 8 p.m. We want orders being processed till 8 p.m. And so I'm like, we can surely get somebody for that $16 to $18 an hour range. And we hired one person and they made it a day and a half and realized it was a little too fast paced for them. And
I saw that on Facebook, by the way.
It was a little too fast. He's like, is it like this every day? No, it's actually kind of slow right now. But,
I saw Lindsay make that post, and I literally showed the thread to Liz. We were, I think, at dinner or something like that. I said, Kory's trying to hire some new people, and they couldn't make it a day and a half. I said, hashtag Brian's 10, and we were just laughing.
Yeah, it's tough, and we're fast paced, and I have high expectations, but I'm not. I've been told I'm intimidating. I don't mean to be, but I do want things done a certain way, and we're fast paced and we're nimble and we like to get shit done. And so, I was approached with, hey, I found the person, the right person, but they want 21. And it took me about 30 seconds, Brian, to go, it's the right person. You know them. You've worked with them in the past. They're going to be an 18 player. Done. Hire them.
Wow.
It's $3 an hour more, $4 an hour more than I really wanted to pay. But if that person solves my problems, makes our company run better, represents our company the way it needs to be, takes some pressure off my wife and I and our other admin team, that's a cost. So you just do the quick math. $4 an hour, $40 a week. Okay, so we're talking $160 a week. Am I willing to pay $160 a week to not have any headaches?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And so when people say they can't afford it, I go back to, well, I can hire that person for 16 or 18, but what if they don't solve our problem? So I'm still paying them a little bit less, but they can do 70% of the job. I still have headaches.
That's huge. That's huge. That's a great mindset.
I had a mentor way back who owned a bunch of banks, and the guy was super successful. And he made a comment to me at one point. He said, Kory, if I could tell you that you were going to make, doesn't number, $50,000, $100,000 or less, at perfect that. He goes, what if you made $100,000 a year less, but you didn't have to be here and you knew that everything was running smooth? Would you do that? And I said, sign me up. And he said, that's the thing. He goes, or you can just wear every hat, Kory, and you can ramrod everything, and you can make more, but you got to, by the way, you can't take vacation very often. And when you do go on vacation, your phone's going to ring the entire time because you're the only one that can answer any questions.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the only, and so and I really had to think about it. He said, what's the price of happiness? What's the price of happiness? And I'm like, oh, I get it now. And I get that this isn't tangible for every company. You got 2 crews. I get that, or 1 crew.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to get there. But it was interesting when he said that to me, and I've thought about it ever since he said that to me, is, what is my freedom worth? What is my time worth? What is my time with my children worth? If I need to go to my son's karate lesson or whatever, and back in the day, Brian, I couldn't get away. I had to be there. I had nobody, if I'm not there and Matt's not there, like we had to make every decision. And that was because we weren't hiring quality people. We weren't We weren't allowing them to make decisions. We were micromanaging. And so, you know, you got to start, and it starts with just getting one guy, right?
Yep.
So if you're a small company, it starts with getting just one right guy. And then when you get that one right guy, you hope that he trains the next right guy. And then you have 2 crews. And then now you have the capacity to get 3 crews. It starts, I mean, that's how we started. We started with 1 mowing crew. I've done all this, and, you know, maybe a little bit lucky, maybe not, but it starts with just getting the first right guy and the second right guy or gal. Could be gal. I don't want to, I'm not,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, in our industry, typically we talk about guys in the workforce or in the field, but could be an admin person. I hired somebody to do our admin at Perfect Cut who spent 25 years with me. I hired somebody who was just a freaking all-star, man. She was Tom Brady of bookkeeping.
That's awesome.
She just was amazing. And, you know, when you make those choices, and I remember saying, there's no way I can afford to pay this lady to do the books. But as soon as I turned that over, guess what I was able to do? Focus on the business.
Well, this is like, I feel like this is substantive like conversation. Like, to me, this is like practical. Hey, like, let's grow the companies. Because again, where I'm coming from on this whole spectrum, Kory's a little bit further down on the other end of the spectrum, and I'm making my way down, just like a lot of you guys are with growing our companies, right? And I'm like, I know where I'm at. I'm comfortable with where I'm at. We're growing our businesses. We have the lawn care company. We created this like media company thing, which is turned into this own Frankenstein thing that we're learning and growing. And I have, you know, no idea what we're doing with it, but it's growing, right? Well, and so many of you guys, same thing, are growing your companies too. And like Kory said, if you're just trying to hire your first guy that you can start relying on, I've actually, somebody said like, Brian, you know, when did you hire your first employee? And I said, interestingly enough, I've always had one guy with me for 15 plus years. And I started with my younger brother. I got a mower. I think 3 weeks later, I realized, dude, I could be twice as efficient with me and a guy. And so back then I was paying my brother $8, $9, $10 an hour. And the old joke is, he actually quit because at 2:00 one day in the afternoon, he goes, all right, I'm done. I'm going inside. We were cutting in the trailer park. I think we're literally cutting lawns across the street from our house. And I go, well, dude, we still have like, you know, another 10 lawns to cut. And he goes, no. He goes, that's cool. Have fun with that. I'm done. I'm going inside to go watch FIFA Cup because it happens every 4 years. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, dude, FIFA Cup starts at 2 because it's over in Europe. That's like 8 p.m. their time. And I said, but we have lawns to cut. We have work to do. And he goes, yeah, that's cool, but I'm done at 2. And so I fired him. He said, you can't fire me because I quit. And I said, you can't quit. I'm going to go tell mom. And so that was my first hire, fire, and I don't even know what you call it. And so we still tell this joke like 15 years later. Every time we go to dinner, we just fight. And I'm like, what are you going to quit on me? He goes, what are you going to do? Fire me? And so it's like this funny, awkward joke. But we've always had guys working with us, like even if they're 18, 20-year-old kids. And, you know, personal examples as well, Kory, was Liz and I were in Waco, Texas 6-8 weeks ago, scoping out this couples conference location that we're going to do called Together in the Trades down in Waco. And while we were down there, we got, 2 or 3 snow events. And my guy, Rob, who's one of my employees and he's becoming my foreman, Rob he texts me and goes, hey, we're supposed to get a 2-inch clipper tonight. Just want to let you know, I'm going to go get the truck, get the shovels. Dave, our newest employee, who's one of Rob's friends, is going to come with me, which Dave's worked on our crew since fall. So long story short, we got it. He goes, enjoy Waco, have fun. And he's got the key to, my garage to get to my keys in the house and the whole deal. And I'm like, I'm giving this advice out and trying to give you guys these guest interviews with, caliber people like, Kory. But I'm also going through the exact same stuff you guys are. I'm not a finished product. We're learning. And so it was this funny analogy because we're in the hotel room. It's 8:00 at night. I'm pacing back and forth. Like, is this going to work out? Where's the trucks? Where's the fuel? Is everything okay? And Liz goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? When somebody calls you out like that, you're like, what do you mean? What am I doing? And so she goes, we pay Rob really good money. She goes, he works 1 out of every 10 days in the winter because that's what you do with snow. She goes, he's got this. What the heck are you worrying about? You already trained him on how to plow. She's got Mike's number. Mike's got Rob's number. Mike Bedell's one of our subcontractors. And they were communicating all that next morning on the plow run. And I think we even got another snowstorm 3 days later, right before we came back, and they had both tagged up together. By the way, quick little tip. My subcontractors, we pay them very, very well. It's not just the employees. Mike Bedell is not a cheap subcontractor by any means, but Mike is a 10 out of 10 in our industry. And so I've surrounded myself with other people that are just so reliable. But that comes at a premium, and I have another guy who, he does all my pruning. He does immaculate work, and he is not cheap. And people are like, well, do you throw a little bit extra on there when you subcontract people out? I go, yeah, of course you can. You should, you could, you don't have to, blah, blah, blah. I said, but my guys, dude, they do a great job. And so we do let that cream rise to the top, or whatever you want to call it. So Kory, I just say all that just to say, I love what you're talking about. I think it's really helpful because all last year, everybody everywhere in the green industry was screaming, know your numbers, right? And that continues that conversation into this year, which is if you're growing, you have to continue to know your numbers. And you can hire good people if you know that they're bringing you in more revenue or saving you more money. And so I love what you're sharing, Kory. I think it's really, really helpful. You got any more ideas on that topic? But if not, we'll maybe shift gears a little bit here.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. I can remember, I remember being out of town the first time it snowed without me, and I was on the phone. I was in Jamaica, and I was on the phone. I was paying $17 a minute, and I was trying to run our snow from Jamaica. It's like the first major vacation I went on. I'm running the snow from Jamaica in the, my wife's down at the pool, and I'm in the hotel room running the snow, and it takes a lot to learn to trust your people. But if you have the right people and you put the systems in place and the expectations are in place, you've got to learn to trust them. And you know what? Will they do it perfect? Maybe not. But will they do it good enough? And then you can learn from those mistakes. Like, hey, while I was gone, everything went pretty well.
Yeah.
There was a couple things you need to do different, and you just walk through it again. And you could have been on the phone with them the entire time and micromanaged the shit out of it.
Right.
But it is a nice feeling knowing you're in Texas, and you know what? It snowed. We generated some revenue. I'm pretty comfortable Rob got it done right. Customers, if they call me, I can get them handled if I need to. But that comes with having somebody you trust and give them that responsibility. So yeah, let's. What else you got? Shift gears to one too.
Yeah, well, I want to talk a little bit about Ballard because you guys got some great products coming out, and a lot of the folks listening to the show, they love supporting you, and honestly, all those accessories are making a huge impact on their business. But yeah, the last thing I'll say, people are like, what do you pay Rob? Do you pay Rob good money, or what do you pay Rob? And I always give a range because it's kind of a tacky question, but I also try to be transparent and help people out. So I always tell them it's a range between this and this. But I told Rob. We had this conversation, a year ago, and then we had a really good sit down. We got, away from the business. We went to a steak dinner. I took care of him. Went to Black Rock. We just sat there for 3 hours, and I'm like, Rob, what do you want? What are you trying to do? Where are you at? What's your next 4 or 5 years? What's your game plan? And then I said, how much money do you want to make? What are you looking to do? So we got all that on the table. I told him, hey, here's my next 2 to 5 years. Let me get all of this on the table. I'm like, look, I'm time poor. I need to do this. I'm going to be having a baby. We got the house coming. I want to build a pole barn. I said, I've got distractions. Good, all things being, good distractions. And so we just had this really leveled conversation. I said, Rob, I'll pay you XYZ number, really stout number. I said, but I need you to be there. I need you to be accountable. I need you to quarterback this thing. You're owning this business with me, bro. You are helping me grow this thing. And so I'll pay you a really hefty number, and people would be shocked with, what he makes to a degree. But he's helping me. He's not only the foreman of that, but he's helping me run a media company. So we're getting content. We're trying to showcase stuff for companies, for you guys, help answer questions for you guys. So it's kind of this this pseudo double tap that he's doing for me. And so I'm like, Rob, this is what a lawn care guy makes. This is what an assistant could make. Can I just double this up and pay you pretty hefty? And he goes, yeah. And he's 19, making more money than most 25, 30-year-old people with degrees. But the value who he adds to me and my company, I still think he's a steal. Liz still thinks he's a steal. He's a great return for us. And so I guess the whole thing, I just wrapped this thought up with a quick little bow was, dude, invest in your people, pay them well, treat them well. And by the way, compensation doesn't always have to be monetary. I love what you said. You had a little nugget in there, which was recognizing talent, applauding people, showcasing people. And I'm not just saying like throw their name on a stupid plaque for Employee of the Month, but next time you have a team meeting, I don't care if you have 2 guys in the crew or 20 guys in the office in the break room, get somebody up, stand them up, say, hey, like Rob did a great job this last week. We got a customer that said, hey, thanks for the attention to detail. We attributed this to Lucas on the team. Lucas, great job. Like Lucas is an up and coming leader and, rising star in our team. Everybody give him a round of applause at 8 a.m. What's Lucas going to do? Lucas is going to be the Tasmanian devil kicking butt for us, the rest of the week, the rest of the month. And so there's a lot of people skills and things you can do outside of just paying somebody, $25 an hour, $30 an hour, $18 an hour. There's other compensation than just the money part. Any final thoughts you got on that, Kory? Because I thought it was a really good nugget that you kind of slipped in there.
Well, and if you look at most research and most studies, you'll find that people that they work where they work, and compensation is usually about 3rd or 4th on the reason they work for that company.
I've heard that.
So it's not about money. And so we do a ton of what you're talking about, which is a lot of attaboys, a lot of recognition within the company. We do it at our safety meetings, our toolbox talks. We recognize people for their tenure with our company. Hey, Joe has 3 years today. We give him a $100 gift card. Everybody cheers. We want to always get people excited. And one thing you said there that I really liked, that you went to dinner with Rob, and it doesn't have to be dinner. You need to be transparent with your people. I don't care if you have 1 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know who you are, what are your goals, where's the company going, and where do they fit into that. And I talk to so many guys, and they're like, my boss, I have no idea if we're growing. I don't know idea. He doesn't tell me. He promised me a raise and he didn't give it to me. You tell somebody you're going to do something, you do it. And if you can't do it, let's say COVID hit and you financially cannot give Jim a raise. You sit down with Jim and say, Jim, I know I promised you a raise. We lost 3 accounts due to COVID, or whatever the case. I didn't forget about you. I promise you, as soon as we get through this, I will make it right. Whatever that is, I find that a lot of these small business owners don't share in the numbers. We're fully transparent. We share a lot of information that maybe, but we want to be very transparent, but we have a lot of communication with people. And, when we hire new people, I talk about this. They have a weekly check-in at the first week. Is this the job we hired you for? Do you feel safe? Do you feel like you're with the right person on the crew? Do you feel like you're getting trained properly? Do you have all the uniform and proper safety gear? And so we have a 1-week check-in, a 1 month check-in, a 60-day check-in, and a 90-day check-in. We found that when we started doing that, because in the beginning we were losing most of our people in the first 30 days, and we thought, what can we do better as owners? And it takes 10 minutes to sit down with a guy and say, hey, is this the job we told you it was going to be? Are you safe? Are you comfortable? Are you being trained? Are you being bullied by by maybe a guy that's been here 10 years? We kind of had this thing for a while where our guys were like hazing the new guys. Like, we're going to see how tough they are because, we're going to see if we can get them to quit. And I'm like, you want the new guy to quit? Because remember, you said you needed more help.
Right.
It's like so counterproductive. But I do like that, again, I don't care if you have 1 employee like a Rob or 2. Man, you got to find out what are their goals, what do they want to do, and how can you help them get there? And I don't care about their age. And I love the fact that Rob's 19. I've had people say, well, he doesn't need to make 40 grand. He's 21. I'm like, I don't give a shit if he's 21 or 41.
Right.
What does he bring to our company? What is his value? I don't care about his age. What I care about is what does he bring to the organization? What type of leader is he? What does he have our core values? Does he have the skills we need? Do we see potential in him? Can he move through the ranks? And so, in our company, one of the things we do in the orientation is we tell stories about guys that have started at $8, $9 an hour, and have all the way up. My branch manager in Cedar Rapids, my branch manager in Des Moines, they started as field labor and worked their way all the way through to 6-figure jobs, running a large team of people. And so we want to show them that. And we have an org chart on the wall in our office now that shows the entire org chart of our company. And we tell them and try to give them paths to success. And we realize that we're not an end game for everybody. That's okay. But if you are looking for an actual career and not a job, we can help you get there. And we lay that out for you. And so again, just communication, transparency. And man, if you say you're going to do something, do it. And even if you can't follow through with the exact promise, have that meeting. Those meetings aren't fun. Sometimes they're tough. Sometimes you got to look a guy in the eye and say, you know what, Jim, I can't give you that raise right now. I know we talked about a raise. Financially, we had a tough winter, or we lost some accounts, or whatever the case. But you better be prepared to have those conversations, because that guy's going to leave. If you tell a guy something and you don't do it over and over, he's going to go somewhere else, and you're going to lose him, and it's just going to be turn and burn. You're just going to, he's out the door. You bring the next guy in, you lie to him. He's out the door. You bring the next guy in, you make some false promises to him. He's out the door. And it's just, and you can't grow. You cannot grow a company without ethics in place and stick to your core values. And that's just, I believe it.
It's good.
And it's worked. It's worked for me. I don't know. It's worked for our entire company. My business partner, Matt at Perfect Cut, man, he's working so hard to build our culture back. And man, that guy gives more knuckle bumps and high fives than you've ever seen to everybody. He knows everybody's name. He prides himself on it, and our people feel important because they are.
Yeah, dude, that's all. That's really, really good stuff. I mean, there's so much good info and so many nuggets baked into this episode. I really encourage you guys to go back through, listen to it again, maybe listen to it again in a week here, because we're just coming at you rapid fire here, and maybe you're on a mower, trimmer, doing a cleanup, and you're sucking up leaves in the debris loader, or spraying some weeds really quick, and you're like, what did you just say? And you can't hit back. Well, listen to an episode. I heard somebody say you got to listen to things 7 times before it really starts to seep in. And so if you guys are new to the show, and you're just, drinking out of the fire hose here, welcome to the jungle. But for those of you guys that are part of the regular crew, go back all the way to episode 1, go back all the way to the beginning of the show and re-listen to all these episodes, because you're at a different place. And so the content that's out there, you're going to hear it different, because last year your business was doing 20 grand or 50 grand, and now you're doing 70 or 100, or maybe you're doing 300 grand last year, now you're doing $700,000 this year. You're going to hear different things when you're at a different level, and this episode will be definitely one of them, because whether you got a 2-man crew and you're just highlighting somebody who just showed up on time, did a great job, and had a great attitude all day on a tough day, all the way to having a 100-person plus organization like Kory, I think there's nuggets in this episode for everybody at every level. And so this is good stuff for me. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I do these podcasts, and Kory, I don't know if you do this too, but I'm a little bit of a weirdo. I listen to my own content, a month later, when it comes out on the queue. Because I want to hear, what did the guests have to say? What was I thinking? How did I ask good questions or bad questions? And I'm always trying to get better, and this is definitely a clutch episode, in my humble opinion, about what you're sharing for sure. So thank you for all this. I think it's going to be really helpful for guys that are growing and graduated from where they were last year, and they're having new problems this year, and new problems are new opportunities for growth. So let me do this. We're already at about 52 minutes. I just really little quick plug here for the Ballard products. The reception has been great. You and I were just emailing a couple days ago that this is almost our 1 year re-up, if you will, on our partnership, which we inked last year to help promote the Ballard products. And it's just been a crazy, wildly successful partnership with so many of you guys appreciating the discounts and the, from discount codes to free shipping promotions and different things that Kory does through the year that, by the way, when you guys support our affiliates and the brand sponsors and the show sponsors and the different affiliates we have on the YouTube channel, that all goes right back into helping create more content. I mean, literally, we appreciate the support more than you guys know. And so this whole thing it's a beautiful little system that we got here of you guys getting good content pretty much for free or very little cost when it does come out across all of our different platforms. And Ballard Products has been one of our most successful partnerships, and we attribute that all to you guys listening in. So Kory, are we going to piggyback off of last year's success, or do you guys got new things coming, or what are you hearing out there that people are wanting from the Ballard Products website?
Yeah, we've continued to keep bringing new stuff. I'm always working on new products. I think I do a good job of listening to guys that when when I keep seeing guys asking the same questions, like, hey, maybe there's a better way to do that. And we've got, we launched the Ballard Blades last fall. That's been a huge success. We sold out, and so we're still trying to get more and more of those in. I ordered a bunch, and some of them have came in, some haven't. So I'm getting a hard time on social media because people are like, "Where's your blades?" I'm like, "I'm trying to get them," but we're constantly trying to add products, and my gauge on products is very simple. If I wouldn't use it, then I won't sell it. So I get pitched a couple products a week. I've got 2 sitting in my inbox right now. Where people will say, hey, I built this product for my own use. What do you think? So we're always trying to do our own products. As many of you guys know, we sell other people's products. I think that for some reason people think, that that's some sort of, hit against us. Hey, you're just the middleman. But, we try to bring products that we think will elevate the industry and make you more efficient, effective, profitable, safe. And so we're excited about it. The Brian's 10 has been huge. Social media obviously has been great, minus the haters, but we won't get into that because that just gives them a platform. But,
yep.
It's been fun and I enjoy it. And we're getting ready to do this trailer giveaway. By the time this airs, we should be kind of right in the middle of that. And I know, Brian, you're going to maybe get involved in that, maybe on a little bit of help with maybe whoever wins that trailer on some items that might help them with some forms, and kind of we'll talk about that a little more. I don't want to say for sure what
yeah you're good.
But we're gonna give away a brand new trailer, fully equipped, trimmers, blowers, an Exmark mower. It's about a $20,000 value, and we're gonna give that away, and so that starts April 1st, giveaway around May 1st, and I really want that to go to somebody in need, doing great things in the community. I'm just insanely grateful for the support of Ballard. When I started Ballard 21 years ago, we started with just a couple products that we patented, and it was just a hobby business. It was fun, and we built the products to make our business a little bit better. And we're like, you know what, that's pretty cool. I think we can sell these, and it just keeps expanding. I've got probably 4 or 5 prototypes sitting on my floor right now in my office of new products that we're bringing, and we're excited, and we our customers seem to trust us and like what we're doing. And we try to, again, the thing about it is anything I bring on, man, I test it, I beat it up. And my test is, what I run it myself. And if I won't run it myself, I'm not interested. And it doesn't mean it's not a good product. It just means that I have to believe in everything we sell, and I have to believe it helps guys out in the community. And so we just try to show guys, what's the problem? What's the solution? And does this make sense for your business? And so we appreciate the support. We get a ton of comments, and I work really hard on the social media side to get back to everybody, which is quite daunting at times, as Brian, I'm sure you know.
Sure.
Some days there's 50 messages, some days there's several hundred.
Yes.
And you work through them, and you try to answer all the questions, and I certainly try to give my time back to help guys with their businesses constantly. I don't charge anything for it. I just tell me what you're struggling with, tell me what you're worried about, and here's my suggestions and my ideas, and if it helps your business, great. And so I just try to give back to the community that's been so good to me. Lawn care's been great to me in my life and supported me, and the Ballard side's been fun, and we keep growing and keep innovating. And yeah, we're going to keep bringing cool products, and if you guys like them, you know where to find them. And if you're listening to this, obviously use Brian's 10. You're going to save 10% off everything on the website, and everybody seems to like to take advantage of a deal and save a few bucks. And
really quick,
we appreciate it.
Really quick, what's top 5 products, if you can name them off the top of your head? What are people buying on the website right now? One of my favorites is the Super Jack, and I know you just did the version 2, so I don't know if that's a popular product or not, but it is for me, because I can't change my stand on mower blades without it.
Yeah, the new version 2 is even better. We've had the original out for 16, maybe 17 years now, and so we made some upgrades there, and a few design changes, and a safety brake on the wheel. So Super Jack, Advanced Shoot, Catch Pro, mower blades have been crazy. What else? We just sell a lot of everything. We sell a lot of the Green Touch racks. We're their number 1 distributor. And we just sell a lot of, it's kind of funny. People go, what do you sell? And I'm like, well, just everything. And it's like,
it's like lawnmower Amazon.
You might go there looking for a you might go there looking for a USB port for your mower so you can keep your phone charged. And you go there looking for a USB port and you're like, well, I kind of need a new blower rack too. Oh shoot, I got covers for my trimmer. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get a pair of Cujos.
Yep. Darwin's grips.
And the Darwin by far. The Darwins sell like crazy. X-Blades, we sell hundreds of sets of those a week. And so it's really just everything. I know you can buy some of those products at other places. We try to put it all together in one. We try to make it easy to navigate our website. If you're looking for one thing, and we're finding that the average person's ordering about 4 or 5 things at a time now.
Sure.
Because like I said, they go on there for a pair of Cujos. Next thing you know, they're like, "Oh shoot, I want one of those Darwin grips. God damn it, I kind of need an advanced shoot too." And mower blades. I need mower blades. I'm going to buy them somewhere.
Yeah.
And so we've got a great mower blade that is priced, better than most of the competition. Performs as good or better. I've tested a lot of mower blades, and we actually won an award with it from a third party that I had nothing to do with.
Oh wow!
Test blades, and so we were rated best mower blade of the year by Commercial Mower Review for 2020 for 2021.
Hey, that's awesome! So you didn't tell us that. That's awesome.
I posted it all over social media. You got to follow me, bud.
I do. Yeah, right, dude. I'm having a baby, bro. I'm freaking out trying to make money. I'm out there chopping firewood,
That was pretty cool to have a third party say, hey, they tested our blade, Oregon, Stens, and a couple other ones. And so we've had great feedback. I actually got tagged on a post on one of the Facebook pages.
Oh, cool.
And it was kind of funny. It's kind of funny that what's the best mower blade on the market? And tons of people listed Ballard, which was great because it just came out in September. I even had several people say, I don't like Kory Ballard, love his blade. I'm like, I can live with that. I don't know what I did, but I can live with that. I mean,
that's funny. That's awesome.
We're just trying to put out good products and, help as many people as we can with their business. You call, I answer the phone. I call everybody back if they leave me a voicemail. And we just work extremely hard at trying to be a resource for people and, jumping on podcasts. We have our own podcast, The Green Grind. And anytime I'm asked to do a podcast or anything for anybody, I never say no. I mean, if I can, I love our industry. I love helping people. I love talking about lawn care.
Yeah.
I like talking about mower gear and trimmer gear and skid loaders and snow pushers. And I like the industry we're in and I like most of the people.
Yeah.
Minus a few.
Yeah, no, you do a great job. Funny story. That's exactly the same thing happened a couple of weeks ago. Somebody on Facebook was giving me a little guff in one of the groups, and I said that name looks familiar because I get email notifications when somebody buys a training program. And sure enough, that dude had bought my commercial contract, but he was like trolling me. He was being a little negative on Facebook, and I'm like, wait a minute, dude, you just bought my commercial training program to buy my commercial contract. And I just went, God bless that dude. You know what I mean? So thanks for the business, but, so everybody's got those little funny quirks out there, Here's one thing I'll say, and we'll button it up right here is, one thing that I like to do is I support people I like. I like to support people that help me, encourage me. Kory poured it out there for you guys for 50 minutes, trying to help you guys grow your business to the next level. And outside of supporting your local dealer, to me, Kory is my next local dealer. Kory is my go-to for supplies, parts, accessories. So, all of you guys that have been using the Brian's 10 code, I sincerely appreciate the support. But I know Kory does as well. He's running a real business out there and trying to take care of his family. And the whole MO behind the Ballard products is to help you guys run a more efficient business with, making more money, saving more money, lawnmower blades, catch pros, the whole deal, right? So for me, if somebody's pouring it out there and reciprocating in the community like Kory does, you're a very busy person. You got a 8-figure business over here, 7-figure business over here, and for you to find an hour to be on our doopy doo show, we definitely appreciate the time. So and to go full circle, we'll cut it off right there because I don't want to take more than what you gave us, which was an hour, and I've already been talking for about an hour and 20. So I sincerely appreciate you taking time to be on the show.
Yeah, Brian, I love being on. Let me know when we can do it again. Maybe we'll touch base here midsummer and see how things are going and how the community's working, and hopefully COVID will be a little bit less impactful on some of our businesses and some of the supply chain on products. And yeah, man, anytime you want me on, and you and I will be talking obviously on some other stuff, but I appreciate you having me on. And guys, if there's anything we can do to help you on our end, you can find us pretty simple on Instagram or Facebook, and we try to put out all kinds of fun content, product content, anything we can do to kind of mix it up. We try to have some fun with it as well. So we appreciate the support genuinely, and anything we can do to help you, I appreciate it. And Brian, I appreciate you having me on.
You bet, bud. Well, yeah, we'll definitely do a mid-season update. We'll get you back on sometime, in the summer, and we'll see if your new office admin person lasted longer than a day and a half. How about that? So
we're gonna get it right this time, I think.
That's awesome, man. Those extra $3 an hour could go a long way. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm just having fun.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, we'll button it up right here. This was a fun episode for sure. And if you guys are new here, we really appreciate you guys listening in. And, some of them are X's and O's. Some of them are just attitude and mindset. But I think you got a little bit of both on today's show. If you guys haven't left those all-important ratings and reviews, please do so. We always ask to just reciprocate with the show. If you guys are getting any value out of it, do us a big solid. The biggest thing, the best thing you can do is to leave us one of those 5-star ratings and a well-worded review, which just means 2 or 3 sentences offering a little bit of social proof. We're almost to 1,000 ratings on the podcast, which is crazy. And that is one of my big goals for the podcast this year, is to get up to 1,000. I'm a goal-setting kind of individual, and I think we're just north of 750, almost 800. And so we're trying to get 1,000, and that's actually really stout for a podcast of our size. So we really appreciate you guys supporting the show. All right, guys, we're going to button it up right here. Let's kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to give some wrap-up thoughts, and we will catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Hello, it's Marty. Are you interested in starting a lawn care business, but you're still struggling to learn the best workflow and even master the basics? Want to mow like a pro? Lawntrepreneur Academy is making available the How to Professionally Cut Grass training program. It includes 4 tutorial-style videos designed to help you learn the basics for mowing, trimming, edging, and blowing. If you've been wondering what's the most efficient way to cut grass and make the properties that you manage look as manicured as possible, then this economical $30 program is for you. Brian will teach you the basics of how to operate each piece of equipment, tips and tricks that he's mastered over the last decade, and even the best way to approach a lawn to make sure that you're turning your customers into raving fans. Now, these tutorial videos, they're great to share with anyone on your team that's got a smartphone or a tablet. Utilize them as tutorials, as e-training. With new hires on the team, you can ramp up the onboarding process by teaching new team members the best way to cut grass as a lawn care professional. Learn best practices. Whether you've mowed 1 lawn or 1,000 lawns, there's something to be learned in this fun and educational How to Professionally Cut Grass training program exclusively at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com. And while you're on our website, check out that whole ball of wax bundle, that special deal that we have going on. That way you not only know how to mow like a pro, but run a business like a pro. It's at the LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com website, link in the show notes.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.